Hello, my friends. Welcome to American Lingo Academy. I'm Emily, and today we're going to learn another 10 common idioms, phrases, and sentences that native English speakers use every single day. These expressions are super useful, and I promise by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what they mean and how to use them naturally in your own conversations. I want you to really focus today because these expressions come up all the time in movies, TV shows, conversations with friends, and even at work. When you understand these phrases, you'll feel so much more confident listening to native speakers, and you'll sound more natural when you speak English too. Let's jump right in. Number 1. I'm mad at myself. This is a common sentence that expresses frustration or anger. But notice something important here. You're not mad at another person. You're mad at yourself. This means you're upset about something you did or didn't do. Maybe you made a mistake, forgot something important, or wish you had acted differently. We use this when we feel disappointed in our own actions or choices. It's a way to express regret or frustration about our own behavior. For example, let's say you studied really hard for a test, but then you made some silly mistakes and got a lower grade than you expected. You might say, "I'm so mad at myself. I knew all the answers, but I made careless errors." Here's another one. Imagine you promised to meet a friend for coffee, but you completely forgot and remembered 3 hours later. You could say, "I'm mad at myself for forgetting our plans. I feel terrible." Number 2. Don't push your luck. This is an idiom that means don't take unnecessary risks when things are already going well for you. Think of luck as something fragile that you can break if you're not careful. When someone says this, they're warning you not to ask for too much or do something that might ruin your good situation. We often use this when someone has already gotten something good, but they want even more, and that might cause problems. For example, let's say your boss let you leave work early today, and now you want to ask if you can leave early tomorrow too. Your coworker might say, "Don't push your luck. You already got to leave early today." You might hear something like this. Your teacher gave you an extension on your homework, and now you want to ask for another day. Your friend could warn you, "Don't push your luck. Just finish it tonight." Number 3. I've heard enough. This is a direct sentence that means you don't want to listen anymore. You're tired of hearing about something, or you've heard enough information to make a decision. Sometimes people say this when they're frustrated or annoyed, but it can also just mean they have all the information they need. This phrase is useful when you want to stop a conversation or when someone is repeating the same thing over and over. For example, imagine 2 of your friends are arguing about which restaurant to go to, and they've been debating for 20 minutes. You might say, "I've heard enough. Let's just pick one and go." Here's another one. Your brother is trying to convince you to watch a scary movie, but you really don't like horror films. After listening to his arguments, you could say, "I've heard enough. I'm not watching that movie." Now, before we continue with the rest of our expressions, I want to ask you to do me a quick favor. If you're finding this lesson helpful, please hit that like button right now. It really helps other English learners find these videos. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss our daily lessons. We're here to help you every step of the way on your English learning journey. All right, let's keep going. Number 4, spick and span. This is a fun idiom that means extremely clean and neat. When something is spick and span, it's so clean that it looks almost new. We use this to describe places, objects, or even people who are very tidy and well organized. The interesting thing about this idiom is that spick and span don't really have meaning by themselves in modern English. They're just old words that have stayed together in this expression. For example, after you spend 3 hours cleaning your entire house, your mom might come home and say, "Wow, everything looks spick and span, great job." You might hear something like this when you're looking at apartments. The landlord could tell you, "The previous tenant kept this place spick and span." You won't find a single stain or scratch anywhere. Number 5, this place is a mess. This is a straightforward sentence that means a location is very disorganized, dirty, or chaotic. We use it to describe rooms, houses, offices, or any space that looks untidy or unclean. It's the complete opposite of spick and span. This is probably one of the most common ways Americans express that something looks disorganized or dirty. For example, you walk into your teenager's bedroom and see clothes everywhere, books on the floor, and dishes on the desk. You might say, "This place is a mess. Clean it up right now." People often say something like this when they come home after a party. "This place is a mess. It's going to take hours to clean up all these cups and plates." Number 6, I don't know how to thank you. This is a sentence that expresses very deep gratitude. When someone does something really kind or helpful for you, and you feel so grateful that regular thank you doesn't seem like enough, you use this expression. It shows that you're overwhelmed by someone's kindness. This phrase is more emotional and intense than just saying thank you or thanks a lot. For example, let's say your friend drove you to the hospital when you were sick, stayed with you for 5 hours, and even paid for your medicine. You might say, I don't know how to thank you. You've been incredible today. Here's another one. Imagine your neighbor takes care of your dog for 2 weeks while you're on vacation and doesn't want any money for it. When you come back, you could say, I don't know how to thank you. You saved me so much money and worry. Number 7. What did you do to your hair? This is a question, but it's not really asking for information about the hair process. This question is usually used when someone has a dramatic change in their hairstyle, and the speaker is surprised or sometimes shocked by the new look. Depending on your tone of voice, this can sound positive, negative, or just curious. The key here is that the change is very noticeable and different from before. For example, your friend had long blonde hair yesterday, but today she shows up with short purple hair. You might say, oh my goodness, what did you do to your hair? It's so different. You might hear something like this when someone gets a haircut that's much shorter than expected. What did you do to your hair? I barely recognize you, but it looks great. Number 8. Survival of the fittest. This is a famous phrase that comes from the theory of evolution, but we use it in everyday conversation to describe competitive situations where only the strongest, smartest, or most prepared people succeed. In daily life, it means that difficult situations reveal who is truly capable and who isn't. We often use this phrase when talking about business, school, sports, or any challenging environment where people compete. For example, in a very difficult college program where many students drop out, someone might say, this engineering program is really survival of the fittest. Only the most dedicated students make it to graduation. People often say something like this about starting a new business. The restaurant industry is survival of the fittest. Only the places with great food, service, and smart management stay open. Number 9. It was a train wreck. This is a metaphor that describes something that went terribly wrong. When we say something was a train wreck, we mean it was a complete disaster from beginning to end. Nothing went according to plan, and the result was much worse than expected. We use this to describe events, performances, meetings, dates, or any situation that was a total failure. For example, you planned a perfect dinner party, but the food burned, 3 guests got sick, and it rained so hard that no one could get home. You might say, that dinner party was a complete train wreck. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Here's another one. After watching a really bad movie where the acting was terrible and the plot made no sense, you could say, that movie was a train wreck. I can't believe we wasted 2 hours watching it. Number 10. You have a point. This is a sentence we use when someone says something that makes sense or presents a good argument. Even if you don't completely agree with everything they're saying, you acknowledge that part of their argument is valid or logical. This phrase shows that you're listening carefully and can recognize when someone makes a good observation, even during a disagreement. For example, you want to buy an expensive new phone, but your friend says, maybe you should wait until next month when the new model comes out. It might be better and cost the same. You might respond, you have a point. I hadn't thought about that. You might hear something like this during a family discussion about vacation plans. Your sister suggests driving instead of flying to save money, and your dad says, you have a point. With 4 of us, driving would be much cheaper. And there you have it, my friends. 10 more expressions that will make you sound more natural and help you understand native English speakers better. I hope you found these useful, and remember, the best way to learn these phrases is to practice using them in your own conversations. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if it helped you today, and make sure you're subscribed because we post new videos every single day to help you on your English learning journey. Leave me a comment and let me know which expression was your favorite, or tell me about other phrases you'd like to learn. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep practicing and keep believing in yourself. You're doing great.